Hi, I'm Sa, and this is the story of how my husband tried to destroy me and how I turned the tables before he even saw it coming. It all started with whispers, bank transactions I never made, a name, Elia Morrow, I had never heard before. Dean, my husband, wasn't just planning to leave me. He was planning to take everything, but he underestimated me. He thought I'd break. Instead, I played along, and then I played to win. One night, I woke up to an empty bed. Dean wasn't in the bathroom. He wasn't getting water. I heard his voice, low, careful, in the dark. Just a little longer. She doesn't suspect anything yet. That sentence hit me like a punch to the gut. I froze in the hallway. He was talking to someone, quiet, secretive. My heart pounded as I slipped back into bed and pretended to be asleep. When I asked him where he'd been, he said, "Just a client." A lie, smooth, practiced, like he'd told it before. The next morning, while he was asleep, I checked our bank accounts. Hundreds, then thousands. Withdrawals he never mentioned. "For what?" I asked. He smiled. "Just short-term investments, babe." Another lie. Then, as if it was nothing, he said, "We should probably get our finances in order. You know, in case of emergencies." He wanted my passwords, my accounts, everything. That's when I knew. Dean wasn't planning to fix our marriage. He was setting up his escape and planning to leave with all I had. That night, something changed. Dean left his phone on the coffee table, face down. He never did that. Then it lit up. A text from Ilya Morrow. "Just make sure she stays in the dark. Almost there." My stomach dropped. I didn't even know who Ilya Morrow was, but she clearly knew me. Dean walked back in like nothing happened. I smiled. I said nothing. But inside, the fire was lit. The next morning, he slid a stack of papers across the table. "Just some tax stuff. Sign here." I read them. It was a property transfer. He wanted to move my condo, my assets, my savings, all into his name. I looked up at him, calm, cold. "I'm not signing this." His smile twitched, his jaw clenched. "You really don't want to do this, Saw?" He tried to sound gentle, but it wasn't. It was a threat. So I smiled. "You're right, I'll think about it." And I walked away, because now I was in control. The next day, he said it. "I think we should separate." Finally, the mask was off. I leaned forward and said, "I already moved my assets." Dean froze. He blinked, once. Then panic flickered in his eyes. He had nothing. He'd spent months trying to trap me, but I had already escaped. Days later, I was served divorce papers. Dean wanted half, the condo, the car, spousal support, everything. But what he didn't know? I'd already put everything in a trust. Legally, he had no access. My lawyer laughed when she saw his demands. "He's got nothing, not even a leg to stand on." For the first time in weeks, I breathed. Dean thought he was the mastermind, but I was always 2 moves ahead. That evening, he burst through the door. "You think you're so smart," he yelled. I didn't even flinch. I just took a sip of my wine and smiled, because now he knew I wasn't the woman he could walk over. I was the one who made him regret ever trying.